To get to 100% EV adoption, we're going to need 20 times more battery production than we do today. But in order to meet that need, we need to focus on the inefficiencies in the cell manufacturing process. Right now, manufacturers only do quality assurance testing on a small fraction of every batch of cells. It's oftentimes not until the batteries are out in the field that we truly understand whether they were good or bad. Because of the uncertainty around battery quality, companies are putting in 30% extra battery cells into each car in order to ensure that they meet the performance standards and requirements that they promise to their customers. That adds extra cost and it's wasteful. Liminal is a battery intelligence company. Our technology uses ultrasound to inspect battery cells directly during manufacturing in a matter of seconds. When I run and I get into the flow of running, I kind of just let my mind wander. Sometimes I get epiphanies or I'm able to see whatever it is I'm doing from a different angle. So running gives me that kind of mental space. Running in the city, you're so much more aware of the impacts of how we live our lives on the climate and on the earth. I try to find paths that have trees and are, run along the water, but you're always up against buses, cars, and trucks. I grew up in a town called Thousand Oaks. My parents both immigrated from Taiwan. My mom came for graduate school and ended up as a research scientist in the biotech area. My dad started a business manufacturing and selling replacement parts for internal combustion engines. I went to UCLA for undergrad, studying chemical engineering. For grad school, I did my PhD at Princeton University and studied chemical and materials engineering. And specifically, I did work in the battery realm, and that's kind of been the driving force in my career. My co-founders and I, we met at Princeton University, late 2014. There was a YouTube video going around that shows if you take a AA alkaline battery out of the packet and drop it, it doesn't really bounce. But if you discharge it all the way and drop it, it does bounce. So that got us thinking about mechanical ways of testing batteries to understand their state of charge or their physical condition. A professor in electrical engineering seeded the idea in our head to say, oh, what if you tried ultrasound? So put some ultrasound sensors onto a battery, let it go through its charge-discharge testing, looked at the data and said, wow, the way that it sounds changes as you charge and discharge the battery. As we talked to more people, we realized ultrasound could be a technology that can shed some light during the battery manufacturing process. Our battery intelligence platform combines hardware for ultrasound inspection as well as machine learning analytics. So you send a pulse of ultrasound into the battery on one side. That pulse of sound travels through the cell. It picks up physical information about everything it travels through. Then we record the response vibrations on the other side of the battery to turn that ultrasound data into useful information for our customers. Over the past year, we've been working with some of the biggest names in the battery industry and the electric vehicle industry. And now we're at a point where in the next year, we're going to be deploying into our first gigafactory with one of those customers. In the short term, we're going to enable battery manufacturers to ramp up their production quickly and meet the near-term demands of electric vehicles. In the long term, we're going to help make batteries lower cost and higher quality to really enable the proliferation of EVs around the world. We see ourselves really as being a catalyzing force in the clean energy transition. My name's Andrew Shea. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Liminal Insights.